Hi, this is Lance Tarochione, technical agronomist with the Calvin Asgrow, coming to you from a central Illinois cornfield today with an update of conditions. We first talked a couple weeks ago after the cold, wet, or in the midst of the cold, wet spell about the fate of ungerminated corn seeds, and wanted to follow up with what we're seeing today as far as how these fields have progressed. And we're trying to make some replant decisions and try to make some stand evaluations and see what we're seeing in these fields. I've got several seeds here in my hand. Actually, several of these came from some of the exact fields that we were in a couple weeks ago. If you're digging up corn that has been in the ground for 2+ weeks and really has only made the progress that you see from these, you've got a spindly little radical root here that doesn't look terribly healthy. Minimal shoot growth, a couple seeds that appear to have basically suffocated. These seeds have not rotted yet, so these seeds are still pretty firm and hard, and sometimes guys will use the hardness or firmness of the seed as an indication of, is that seed still healthy? I'm going to say these 4 seeds that we're looking at here, if they're not dead, they've been stressed and damaged and injured to the point where they're not going to be able to emerge. These were at a nice 2-inch planting depth, and you can see based on the amount of growth that they've got a long way to go. They're in a cold, wet soil that's pretty firm above them, and even if that soil stayed loose and mellow, I don't see that seed having enough gas left in the tank to push up through a couple inches of soil. On the good side of things, if you're looking at seeds that have a nice healthy radical and a good shoot, good coleoptile that's still intact, hasn't split open, doesn't show any signs of disease, nice healthy white color, and that seed was about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch from the surface, and probably in a position to go ahead and push through, assuming the crust isn't too bad. What you're going to find in these fields are seeds of varying different stages. That's kind of what we get into when you've got soil conditions that we had. This seed here was probably in a wetter area where it had a lot less oxygen, was at a saturated soil condition for more days. That one I'm probably concerned probably is not going to make it up. On the other end of the spectrum, this first one we talked about here was probably in a better drained area, a little more oxygen in the soil, and you can see we've got everything in between. So if you're looking at a seed like this one, where the coleoptile starting to split open, you're starting to get a little bit of brown and yellowing discoloration there. You can see that split. You see that going on. That seed is going to leaf out underground and will not be able to push up through the soil surface. If you've got seeds that are still intact, still healthy looking, still pushing, there's always reason to be optimistic. A lot of hose are running in some areas, and I don't mind that, frankly, to keep that surface loosened up, get a little more oxygen in that soil, let that soil dry out a little bit, and keep that surface from crusting. Our recommendation really is to focus on acres that you haven't been able to plant the first time yet, even your soybeans. Finish planting, give these corn stands a few more days to let that soil warm up, get a little more growth, and see what's going to be able to push through.